crying, Jesus, help me to see the morning light of one more day. But if I should die before I wake, I pray my soul to take. Can you feel the hearts of the children aching for home, for something of their very own, reaching hands with nothing to hold on to, but hope for a better day, a better day. Crying, Jesus, help me to feel the love again in my own land. For when unknown roads lead away from home, give me loving arms away from home. Can you feel the voice of the children softly pleading for silence in their shattered world? Angry guns preach a gospel full of hate, blood of the innocent on their hands, crying, Jesus, help me to feel the sun again upon my face. For when darkness clears, I know you're near, bringing peace again. Dali Chudite, Svedece molitve. Can you hear the prayer of the
Welcome. That was Donna Hansen, Ryan Pertot, Bella Pethy, and Michael McGann. I'm Lily. I'm one of your MCs, and I'm Emma. Nice to meet you all. Thank you all so much for coming. This is insane. Everyone, please just look behind you and look at how many people are here today. This is amazing. In solidarity with the victims of the Parkland shooting and the We're waiting for the train! Yeah! Alright, the train. Alright, anyway, we are here in solidarity with the victims of the Parkland shooting and of school shootings that we've had in America for the past however long. And we're here to hopefully have our voices heard so that change can happen. Because this is not something we have to deal with. This is not something we need in our schools. Again, thank you all so much for coming. Before we get started with the program, I just wanted to let you all know that the League of Women Voters is here registering. vote. There's a few people in the crowd. So if you want to get registered to vote, please see someone from the League of Women Voters. Also, just a reminder for everyone to please stay on the sidewalks. Great. Okay. Now for our first speaker, we have.
Wait, we can't do anything about that. Hold on, please.
Amelia. Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry, we can't really do anything about that. Can you hear me now? Now for our first speaker, we have Claire Farnsworth, who is a student at Glenwood High School, who has done so much for this sport. Please, everyone, give her a round of applause. She was able to vote for the first time on March 20th.
I gotta go. I'll record Amelia for you. They're talking to
Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Farnsworth. I'm 18 from Chatham, Illinois, a student at Glenwood High School and a teenage girl. I'm also a guinea pig mom, a collager, and a Stranger Things enthusiast, but above all, I'm an activist. I believe that Black Lives Matter, that love is love, that disability services in our country need to be better, and that a woman has a right to choose what happens to her body. These beliefs make me who I am, but they often make people, peers, and family of all ages see me in a negative light. These ideals that make me who I am cause me and teen activists like me to be ostracized in some cases. Granted, I don't care, but nothing gets us more ostracized than when we look adults in the eyes and tell them that mass shootings like Columbine, Sandy Hook, Pulse Nightclub, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School could have been prevented. Nothing gets us more cast aside than when we look adults in the eyes and tell them that their guns mean nothing to us, that our citizens are dying, and it was preventable until they decided their guns were more important than the lives of our people. Our government has failed us, and they continue to fail us every day. Policy change does not happen, and I will continue to scream this until it stops being true. I, again, don't care about the tension my words cause, but my heart aches at the blind eye the people casting me away turn to gun culture in America. Your children are dying, America. Your citizens are dying. Your teens are dying. Your future is dying. It's time to listen. It's time to put your preconceived notions about what it means to be a teen in 2018 aside and listen to us scream at the top of our lungs. We are not self-absorbed, materialistic morons. We are smart, we are engaged, and we are tired. Tired of being written off and treated as if our voices don't matter because we're young. I read a quote the other day that said, "A young girl's first blood does not come from between her legs, but from biting her tongue." I am sick and tired of biting my tongue when all leads to is the blood of my brothers and sisters at the hands of murderers and money whore politicians who would rather be paid off by the NRA than keep me from dying at school. I'm going to be honest. I was at work when I first heard about the shooting in Parkland, the TV in the back right corner of the bar playing CNN No Sound. I saw the headline, "School Shooting, 17 Dead," and felt nothing. Me, the most empathetic person I know, I didn't think twice. I didn't think twice because this is the life of a student in America. Routine drills and lockdowns, kindergartners learn to stay quiet in the corner with their blocks and crayons if they wish to go home to mommy and daddy when there's a stranger in the building. I didn't think twice because gun violence is so a part of our culture it's almost expected. It should not feel expected. I'm barely 18. I should not feel jaded by terror in my backyard. Children younger than me should not know the fear of hiding in the corner of a dark silent classroom, hoping no one comes in, tearing the door down with a gun in hand. My mother shouldn't have to wonder if me leaving for school will be the last time she gets to kiss my forehead and tell me she loves me. I'm ashamed that I let myself grow desensitized because my country is so deluded that our society has learned how to remove empathy and pain from massacre when massacre and gun violence should have never been normalized in the first place. Civilians America. These teens, the leaders at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, are my heroes. They are calling BS on thoughts and prayer, turning pain into action, and demanding policy change in the wake of trauma. Despite the cameras watching, and in spite of politics trying to determine their story. Thank you for being here as we call times up on the toxic superiority-based gun culture in America, and for holding a voice like mine and my friends high enough to be heard. Us teens, especially us teenage girls, sure are pretty, but we are so much more. Don't make an enemy out of the wildfire coursing through our veins. Thank you.
Is a local poet. Aviana goes to Jefferson Middle School and will be able to vote in 2020.
No, I don't. Because I'm going to be. I know. Okay,
Shut up! You're not smart!
Yeah, you ain't going to heaven.
Just ignore that.
Hello everyone, my name is Aviana Divas. My last name is not Divas.
You're welcome. Talk over him. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. On the NRA. Shame 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 on the NRA.
In these times of thoughts and prayers, when gun laws are made by millionaires, laws that solve nothing because no one cares. Adults and politicians tell us to sit, but we do not dare. In these times of sadness and strife, we stand together to fight for our lives, plainly spelling out enough is enough. A kid's life isn't supposed to be this tough. They do not want to hear us when we complain. They do not want to hear us after when we are slain. They do not hear us knocking on the door. They do not see our bodies on the floor. In these times when the bastion of safety has been knocked down and the fear in schools is a gunshot sound, the access to get an AR-15 and rounds isn't a conclusion that sounds very sound. In these times, the question is, will I be targeted? Or will I run? Or will you make law to stop his gun? Action needs to be put into place so that in my school I am safe. Still, they don't hear us complain. They do not want to listen after we are slain. They don't hear us they don't hear our knocks on the door. They do not see our bodies on the floor. But today we stand together all over America. Children like me are helping to lead the fight for our lives. Stand by us as we march forward to changing gun laws for all our safety.
Yeah!
Thank you, everyone. Next, we have Amelia Cox, who is a student at Glenwood High School, and she will be able to vote January 16th, 2021.
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Amelia Cox and I'm a freshman at Glenwood High School. Truthfully, I have never been involved in activism before because I was scared of the controversial words Truthfully, I've never been involved with activism before because I was scared of the ripple my controversial words would make among my friends and community. But I am no longer scared. I am appalled at how gun culture in America has become normalized and how no one is doing anything about it. Seeing gun violence on the news has become reality, and you see or hear about them almost every single day. We are being taught to accept that over 2,000 children are murdered by gun violence on average every single year. That's not even counting adults. Those are kids. When we had our walkout over a week ago, we were discouraged. We were mocked, laughed at, and filmed by our peers. We stayed quiet and showed respect towards not only the Parkland victims, but to any victims of gun violence.
I am proud of anyone that walked out with us, stood at their desk for 17 minutes, or anyone who had their own 17 minutes of silence. But I am disappointed in the Walk Up, Not Out campaign. It is a campaign based on the stereotypes of school shooters created by cowards who use mental illness to water down the tragedy of mass shootings. A school shooter can be anyone. Mental illness cannot continue to be blamed for every single shooting that has occurred over many years. This is not a new trend. Mental illness is being used to explain shooters so that mass shootings don't tarnish the NRA's pro-gun agenda.
Yeah!
But school shootings are only the beginning. Suicides, homicides, and domestic violence make up an even larger proportion of deaths caused by firearms. Let me show you some statistics. On average, 13,000 people die from firearm homicides. That's not even including suicides by firearm, which make up 62% of firearm deaths. How safe do you feel knowing that gun owners outnumber trained feds and police in a ratio of 79-1? After the school shooting in Florida, I had to listen to my teachers talk about how scared they were for their own lives when they came to my school. So how am I expected to feel safe there? How am I supposed to feel when I watch my little sister walk into school and know that she could be next? We are looking to our schools, our parents, and our government saying we have had enough. Show them that we are not scared, we are outraged.
Yeah!
People are weary of this movement because we are mostly kids, and most people will not take kids in high school seriously. We may be young, but we are strong and we are powerful. Let it be known that this march is for us, the kids younger than me, for people older than me, and for all victims of gun violence. It's time to make a change. After Sandy Hook Elementary, Pulse Nightclub, Colorado Planned Parenthood, Parkland, and so many others, it's long past time to do something. We have had enough. Protect lives, not guns. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Rachel Borazov. She will be performing Imagine by John Lennon. And she'll be able to vote in 2020.
I got hair.
We could use vote here.
There's no heaven. No hell below us. The brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living for today. They say I'm a dreamer.
Sing along!
But I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. Imagine there's no countries. It's hard to do. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer. Someday
My name is Lillian, and I am a member of Generation Z. Most of the members of my generation are not yet old enough to vote, and have been that way for the past 17 and a half years. As I stand by, I have had to witness so much terror helplessly because I didn't think I was of any age to make change. I am sick and tired of hearing about children like me having their lives taken away while the people who could change things just sit idly by, twiddling their thumbs. I've had enough. We have all had enough. This is not a political issue, and it never was. This is an issue of humanity, and we have waited for too long for the grown-ups to make any decisions. It's time to make matters into our own hands. I might be too young to remember Columbine. Even though it happened in my lifetime, I had to learn about 9/11 in school because I was too young to remember it. I wasn't old enough to be exposed to the horrors of Virginia Tech. What I do remember is the horror of Sandy Hook when my little Springfield, Illinois middle school stopped class because another school just like ours had been terrorized and students just like us had been robbed of their future. As the years went by and the massacres in Aurora, San Bernardino, Orlando, Sutherland Springs, and Las Vegas came and went, we got more and more desensitized to the tragedy. We almost considered this to be the new normal. Even in our hometown, with each passing high school bomb threat, the process became more and more mundane to us. What kind of world do we live in that allows for this to happen? Soon enough, if we continue this toleration of these violent acts, some of our names and pictures will end up on news sources around the world as victims to what we didn't control, and as victims to what we wouldn't think would happen to us. It ends now. We will no longer sit idly by. We will raise our voices and force action to be taken so that our lives won't be. We will be the generation that makes sure that every single child won't have to question the existence of their futures. And we will send our younger siblings and our own children to school and not have to wonder whether or not they will come back home by the end of the day. My name is Lillian, and I am a member of Generation Z. Most of us may be unable to vote, but we will soon, and we have every ability to make change. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Lillian. Next up, we have Elena Lott, who's a student at Springfield High School and turned 18 on October 5th. The essay that she is going to read won the Illinois Council Against Handgun Violence Students' Voices Award.
All right.
It's not her. Okay, well, let's just like that. It does look a lot like that.
Please tell me I'm mistaken, that we do live in America, the land of the brave, the free, that kids are not being gunned down and blood is not being shed young. Please, please tell me I'm mistaken, that a problem can be that bad to take another's life by gun. In some places, gunshots are too common. Kids are running for their lives. What issue can't be talked out? Who is going to change the standard? We live in a world where the hottest new thing on the charts lets you know not to step to them because they are about that life, while television is screaming violence is not okay. They are sending mixed messages to us kids. We can glorify our favorite rappers taking lives and sing along like it's not a tragedy, just to turn on the TV and watch our loved ones mourn the deaths. We are hurting each other and neglecting unity. It doesn't have to be this side, that side. I'll get you because you got me. Gandhi said an eye for an eye would make the whole world blind, but why live in darkness when we can live in peace?
Beautiful.
Put the guns down and rise up against the cause. Scream to the top of your lungs and use the voice that you were given. Your tongue is so powerful. It creates words that move mountains that can zap through the faded lights of time to change the future. No more dead bodies on street corners. We must stop these shenanigans. The future of the world is in the youth. Who's to say we aren't killing doctors, lawyers, and artists?
I'm a senior at GHS and I'm 18 years old. Right now school shootings are normalized in this country and it's sickening. There have been 29 school shooting incidents this year, 12 after Parkland and 290 after Sandy Hook. It's been over 7,000 children who've died since then. How many more children have to die for us to pay attention and do something? The idea is nauseating. The fact that politicians who accept money from the NRA and the NRA itself let this happen makes me feel unsafe to live in this country. A place that is supposed to embody freedom, where I only find myself trapped and silenced. That is until today. You may not take us seriously because we're young, but we are not young. We're angry. We think it's not going to happen to us. It's not going to happen in Springfield. So what? We're just going to wait until it does? We're going to wait until kids sacrifice themselves to protect other classmates? Until teenagers face trauma no one should face even as an adult? Until children hold up signs saying protect kids, not guns? Well, that's happening now. That's our reality. Where I want to go and get an education to live the best life I can, I don't know if I will, because I might die going to school. I might die trying to put my future first. I might die not knowing when I say I love you for the last time to my friends and family. So why are we waiting? Instead of just giving our thoughts and prayers, we can do something. We can stand up and fight. We can go to the polls and get one step closer to all those who support less gun violence and people we trust to not take money from the NRA to be in a position of power. We need to vote corrupt congressmen out. Those who take money from the NRA and say nothing when another school faces a mass shooting. These shootings that are so common, we don't know when it'll end. My school could be next. My brothers could be next. My mothers, my cousins, everyone I love and care for is in danger when the NRA is in power. When people who support them and take money from them are in power. But now we have a chance. Now we can vote them out and replace them with people who could ensure the safety of ourselves, our family, and our future generation. So I'm tired of being scared and waiting for all of us to find a magical solution when we can be our own solution. We can fight this. We can educate ourselves on politicians running and vote for those who will do us justice and encourage others to vote. But we can't just stop there. We have to keep going. Call our representatives, gain support from local businesses, spread the word. We need to use our voices for those who no longer have one. For those 17 victims who died at the hands of gun violence. Time is up. This can be the generation that reduces gun violence. Don't sit and wait. Stand up and take action. Let this be the year of reform, of safety. Thank you for letting me speak today, but as a final remark, I'd like to take a moment of recognition for those we have lost at Parkland. Alyssa Al-Hadef, Scott Beagle, Martin Duque Angliano, Nicholas Duwaret, Aaron Feiss, Jamie Gutenberg, Chris Hickson, Luke Hoyer, Carl Lahuren, Gina Montalto, Joaquin Oliver, Elena Petty, Meadow Pollock, Helena Ramsey, Alex Schachter, Carmen Struntrup, Peter Wang, and Cortland Arlington from Huffman High School in Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you again.
Hi, it's me again, Claire. I am lucky enough to get to introduce Betsy Dirksen-Londrigan, who is running for Congress. I met Betsy this January, and I'm lucky enough to get to volunteer on her campaign. She's an amazing woman with some amazing words.
Right.
Thank you for being here. Thank you to Action Illinois for bringing us all together. I am proud to stand here with students like Claire and all of you who are organizing because the adults in the room have let you down. Yeah. And the adults in the room have not stood up and done their job to keep you safe. and I will be an adult in the room who will stand up and help the students, help our communities, help our schools, and keep us safe. I'm also standing here as a mother of a high school student whose heart drops to her knees every time I get a text from the school come across my phone in the middle of the day, just like parents everywhere. I'm standing here as a former middle school teacher who knows that in my very busy, very fun, very lively classroom, the last thing that would have kept my students safe was another loaded gun. And I am standing here as a candidate for Congress in the 13th District who has pledged to never, ever take a dime from the shadow monster that is the NRA. Because we know that the NRA is not about protecting gun rights. It is about promoting gun sales. But here is what the NRA doesn't know. Mom, legal gun owners, non-gun owners, and students of all ages, we are joining forces. We're the rebellion. We march today, and tomorrow we join hands. We make phone calls. We go door to door. We reach out to our neighbors to help us make more phone calls and knock on more doors. Because come November, we vote. And I'm standing here as a woman who believes, who knows, like you, that change isn't something that happens to us. We are the change we seek. Work is how we make change happen. So I'm here to ask you today, are you ready to work?
Hell yeah! I love work!
All right, so let's get to work, and together we are going to bring safety to our neighborhoods, to our schools, to our students, and we are going to elect adults who make the right decisions in the rooms where they happen.
Wow, thank you so much, Betsy. Just first of all, again, candidate for the 13th Congressional District. Woo! We would like to acknowledge some politicians that we have today here with us. We have Odie Carpenter, who is running for sheriff. We also have Alderwoman Kristen DeCenso. Next up, we have Xavier Cooper, a student at Springfield High School who will be able to vote in 2020. He is reading The Low Road by Marge Piercy.
What can they do to you? Whatever they want. They can set you up, they can bust you, they can break your fingers, they can burn your brain with electricity, play your mind with drugs till you can't walk, can't remember. They can take your child, wall up your lover, they can do anything you can't stop them from doing. How can you stop them? Alone. You can fight, you can refuse, you can take what revenge you can, but they roll over you. But two people fighting back to back can cut through a mob, a snake dancing fowl can break a cordon, an army can meet an army. Two people can keep each other sane, can give support, conviction, love, massage, hope, sex. Three people are a delegation, a committee, a wedge. With four, you can play bridge and start an organization. With six, you can rent a whole house, eat pie for dinner with no seconds, and hold a fundraising party. A dozen make a demonstration. 100 fill a hall. 1,000 have solidarity in your own newsletter. 10,000 power in your own paper. 100,000 your own media. 10 million your own country.
Yeah.
It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again after they said no. It starts when you say we and know exactly what you mean. And every time you say it, you mean one more.
Yes.
Great, thank you so much, Xavier.
Good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Emma Schaefer, and I'm an 18-year-old freshman at Lincoln Land. I just voted for the first time last week.
Change is coming.
I'm also the leader of the Springfield chapter of Students Demand Action for Gun Sense. We have listened to some seriously powerful speakers, poets, and musicians today. Can we have another round of applause for all of them, please? I'm so happy to see so many people here today. Every movement needs support, and ours is no different. But what sets our movement apart is the amount of youth I see out in the crowd. Please raise your hand or your sign if you're a student. Raise it proud. Wow. Just look around you. That is incredible. The amount of passion that all of you have is evident here today. I know that every one of you students in the crowd has felt silenced at some point or another. You've been told that because you're young, your voice doesn't matter, or if you can't vote, that no one cares what you have to say. I'm here to tell you today that that's not true. Because even if you didn't vote your elected officials in, you're still one of your constituents, and they're required to listen to you just as much as they would listen to your parents. Your voice matters.
Yes! Yes! Good.
But sometimes I'm well aware it's hard to know who to call, what to do, and how to make sure that your voice is heard just as much as the generations that are older than us. Like I said earlier, I'm the leader of the Springfield Students Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, an affiliate of Moms Demand Action. Saying that you want change isn't enough. In order for us to enact real legislative difference, we've got to do something about the mess that we're in right now.
Yes! Yes!
That's why I want all of you to consider becoming a part of Students Demand Action. We've got people in red around carrying clipboards so that you can sign up, and cards are being passed around with information about the date of our first meeting, April 9th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Where it will be announced later. Probably not right now in front of our protesters across the street. Yeah. We can invoke serious legislative change if we band together, prepare, and organize effectively. I'm hoping to see all of you with the same passion and drive on April 9th at 6:30. Thank you all for coming today and supporting a country where students aren't afraid at school.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Where parents don't need to worry about their children's lives and teachers can do their job without fear. I'll see all of you students on April 9th. Thank you again for coming today, and thank you to the Planning Committee at Action Illinois for helping us out with this event.
Great job! Great job! Yes!
Time to rise up!